The NAR settlement and the impact it's going to have on consumers is here. August of 2024 there's a big change that's happening, and if you're thinking of buying a home in Arizona or buying a home anywhere across the country, every state's going to have a little variations, whether they're implementing it July 1st or August. But bottom line, if you're a real estate agent that is part of the NAR, you are going to be required to do several things moving forward. So if you're a real estate agent, you're watching my content, we need to get you up to speed to those changes because they are going to be taking effect. And I've got word that there is some secret shoppers. So you want to make sure that you are up to speed on what is required for you to show a home. Now, real estate is about to get rocked August in 2024. Okay, I'm kidding. It's not going to be rocked. What's happening, there is some changes that are going to take effect August of 2024. And I want to make you aware of them. So when you come across, or you're looking at buying a home across the country, I'm in Arizona. If you need help with that, I'll leave my contact information anywhere here. I'll connect you with the local real estate agent, and I do mortgages. I am a mortgage broker, so I help with the loan approval and guiding you through the entire process of getting a home loan. But for the important part that I wanted to make this video and the changes that are happening now, all of the information continues to change. So I've been hesitant about posting a video about this because you never know. This was supposed to take effect a couple months ago. Now they pushed it to August 17th of 2024. And it is the NAR settlement that is going to kick in August of 2024. So what does this mean for home buyers? Home buyers, when you today, if you wanted to go see a home, you contact a local real estate agent, and some were happy to go show you a home, some were not. Some made you sign documents, and you wonder why you had to sign some documents. So that is now going to be a requirement moving forward. So if you're having a conversation with someone, a local real estate agent, and they ask you to sign any documentation, it is for that reason. It is the requirement that we now need what's called a buyer broker agreement to go show and tour a home. So, hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So when you are facing that situation, it is not necessarily forcing, twisting your arm to make that happen. It is a requirement if a real estate agent belongs to the NAR. So I want to make sure that you are aware that when I pass this paper and you want me to go tour a home, that you understand that that is now a requirement. Now, I keep hearing a few variations within the real estate industry. There is going to be certain exceptions. One of the exceptions is if you, the home buyer, contacts the listing agent to tour the home. That individual, as long as they're not going to represent you, also known as a dual representation or dual agency, that is an exception. So if you had a buyer consultation with a real estate agent, you didn't like it, they didn't pass the vibe check, or you just you didn't feel comfortable getting to that point, that would be one of the workarounds. But more important than ever, you gotta learn, you gotta be able to pick up, is this person that I'm meeting with as a real estate professional, is this person going to be the one that's going to be able to guide me from point A from going from renting to owning, from existing homeowner to upgrading, wherever you're relocating, or it's going to be very, very important that you do your homework ahead of time. And this is why I truly believe going to Google, establishing real estate to establish a reputation with Google is going to be very, very imperative because of that situation. So That is, let me go through my notes here and see if I'm missing anything. Oh, this is a big one too. How did I forget this big one? For real estate agents, this is how they're going to be impacted drastically. It is going to be a change that a lot, unfortunately, will not be able to maneuver or pivot, or they're going to just be too nervous to have this conversation. The buyer-broker agreement that you're signing is going to basically state what a real estate agent's compensation is going to be, because the one of the changes, part of the settlement, what they ended up changing was a listing agent can no longer basically promote or post on the what's called an MLS, which is the multiple listing service. They won't be able to put in there what's called a cooperative compensation. What that meant as of today, before August of 2024, if I wanted to sell my house and I had my real estate agent, they would list it and they would list how much we would be paying a buyer's agent, meaning if you're buying a home, that's representing you buy the home, we would be able to compensate them through the transaction. So the buyer broker agreement is now stating, this is, we don't know what they're going to be offering, if they're going to be offering anything. Here's my compensation. I think that's going to be the biggest impact a lot of home buyers are going to come across, and they're going to be fearful. I truly, truly encourage you not to be fearful for various reasons that I'm about to mention, so stick around. But I think having those conversations, a lot of agents are not, comfortable with them. They've never done it enough time. They haven't done it enough times. They've never done it in their life. So I'm giving you the heads up that, when you're having those conversations, what to keep your eye on, right? And, when we, as a consumer, if I'm a first-time home buyer or just buying a home, if I get, here's a bill, I haven't even showed you a house, this is how much you're going to pay me if you do a transaction with me, that can throw me off a little bit, because we don't know, anything about a home. We don't know, we don't know anything, frankly. Like, we just showed up because we might like a house, right? And you just want to go tour it. That's all you want to do. So that's going to be a pivot in comparison to how we do things today. And I think it's going to be a challenge for a lot of people, but I don't say that to be fearful. I think it's a great point, or a great time to change and adjust and get better on our end, to be honest with you. So how we're going to be able to combat that on the lending side, you cannot, I want to make this very, very clear. Any closing costs cannot be rolled into the loan. It doesn't matter if it's loan costs. The only fees that are allowed to be financed are going to be on government loans like FHA or VA. They'll allow us to finance for VA funding fee. For FHA is the upfront mortgage insurance premium. Those two costs can be financed into those individual programs. But as far as realtor commissions, none of that can be financed. Loan costs cannot be financed into the loan. So when it comes to those things, remember, when you're signing the buyer broker agreement, now you have to acknowledge, right, that this is how much the agent is going to get compensated if you end up buying a home through that transaction. So not only do you have potentially the buyer's buyer's agent compensation, you have your loan costs, and you have your down payment, except for VA or USDA loans. Now, it's very, very important that when you're working with the real estate agent, you don't fall for I don't want to call it a trap, but for this illusion that, a lot of people think, oh, you're going to put 3.5% for FHA or 3% of the down payment of the purchase of the home that you're looking to buy. There's still closing costs on top of that. There's title fees, there's lender fees, there's appraisal, there's earnest deposits, there's home inspection, appraisals. I probably said appraisals twice, sorry about that. There's just going to be closing costs. There's prepaids. We have to pay for home insurance for the first 12 months. And then we also have to, depending on the time of the year, taxes potentially be due during that period of time. And then lastly is something called per diem interest for the time period of when you're closing on a loan. So there is not a single day that's wasted on not collecting interest. So, by the way, so those are just things to consider. And I got probably less than a minute here. Concessions, seller concessions is going to be one of the most impactful things moving forward, because it now requires an agent to call the other agent. And if you're scared of picking up the phone, I need you to sharpen your phone skills, because that, as an agent, you're going to have to pick up the phone. So if you have any questions with regards to lending, I am in Arizona. My office is on Peoria, Arizona. You can get a hold of me at 623-288-0026. Again, that's 623-288-0026. And I'm David Madrid with Infinite Lending.